My name James Hamilton, aka One Tape Real. A lot of people I grew up with through my teenage years and shit, they probably know me as Jay Nasty. I was born February 19th, 1992, in Houston, Texas. My mother had 2 kids. I got a sister who 10 years older than me. When I was born, my mother was living in an apartment called the VA in Villa Americana. My father, he murdered someone in those apartments, and we got evicted. And then my mom moved to an apartment called Kings Road on the 4,000 block at Sunnyside. Coming up as a kid, I was a good kid and shit. I was disciplined, so I got my ass whooped and shit. I went to Madden Elementary, my kindergarten and my first grade year. And then one year my mama sent me to a school that was closer to Kingsville Apartments, which was Carnegie. And when I got to Carnegie, I was still making like A's and B's and shit, but I was getting P's on my report card. So shit, my mama sent me back to Madden in my 3rd grade year. So from 3rd through 5th, I stayed at Madden. While I was in elementary and shit, my mama went to church every Sunday, you know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm a kid, so I went to church every Sunday with my mama. My mama ain't really let me do too much and shit like that. But I was introduced to Little League football, so that was a way for me to interact with other kids and shit outside of school. So after school, I'd go to practice and shit, and throughout the week and on the weekends, we'll have my football games on Saturdays, and on Sunday, shit, we'll go to church. In the late 90s and shit, my sister was going to Jack Yates High School. That's when like bands and shit was like real popular and shit. My sister was a majorette at Jack Yates, so they had their football games on Thursdays and Fridays and shit like that. So shit, I go to their games and shit. The most livest part of the games be the halftime shows and shit like that. So I kind of was interested in like band and shit. I liked the drum majors. I liked the intros and shit, the drum majors and shit to be doing. You know what I'm saying? But that was something I was interested in coming up as a kid. Then around the early 2000s, that's when I made it to middle school. My 6th grade year, I went to Hartman Middle School. I couldn't play football until I got in the 7th grade. That's just how shit go. In middle school, you can't play in 6th grade, so I joined the band. But around these times, I was getting into girls and shit. You know what I'm saying? Me and a dude named Aaron Taylor got nominated for Cutest Boys. He ended up winning Cutest Boy. I ended up winning Best Dress. And I think like a Mexican nigga, he won like Most Popular or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So around 6th grade, that's when I was getting into girls and shit. I was still making A's and B's, and my mama ain't play this shit, so you know what I'm saying? I was getting E's and S's still on my report card. The following year, my 7th grade year, I was able to play football for the school now, so I ended up playing football for Hartman. This was my last year in Little League football also. I ended up going to Disneyland with the Southside Cowboys. I kind of was feeling myself a little bit around this time. As I was getting a little older and shit. I made my first F in school, my 7th grade year. But I was still being a kid. You know what I'm saying? Playing 7th grade football. That was my last year playing Little League football, and I was talking on the phone more. I started talking on the phone with my friends and with girls and shit like that. The following year, my 8th grade year, my mama was telling me, I ain't to be making this drive from Kings Road all the way to Hardman Middle School, you know what I'm saying? Which was a little stretch. She was like, see, this is school right here you can go to, which was Woodson Middle School. So I ended up going to Woodson Middle School my 8th grade year. These niggas was gangsters at this motherfucking shit. These niggas was a little hard. I ain't even want to play on the football team and shit. I joined the band. I got my first tattoo my 8th grade year. You know, my mama, she let my sister get a tattoo when she was 12. She was like, shit, you can go and get one. I was doing good, you know what I'm saying? It was the beginning of the school year and shit like that. She let me get a tattoo. Around this time, my dad, he was in prison for the murder. I ain't had no older brothers and shit like that, so I got my toughness in my apartment. There was a group of little badass little boys. It was Randall, Big Put, Ant, D Buckley. Shit, they was bad in the motherfucking way and shit. I damn near had to fight their ass every goddamn day on some shit. But that's how I ended up getting. A little tough. The middle of my 8th grade year, I still was on my kid shit. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't never just really no bad kid. The work actually was just getting a little fucking hard. You know what I'm saying? And the teachers just wasn't teaching me to where I could really understand. So, shit, I was getting straight L's then. The only thing I was passing was music and PE. This was my 8th grade year. During my 8th grade year, there was a kid from Atlanta. He had moved to the Kings Road Apartments. His name was Anthony. He moved with his mama and his sister out here to Houston. One day he came up to me. He was like, "Hey, you want to be cool? You want to play football?" I was like, "Shit, yeah." He ended up being my friend. He actually was my best friend, and every day I get out of school, we'll link up with each other. We'll play football, run football plays, talk about what's going on in my school, talk about what's going on in his school, and shit. We was doing it damn near every day. I remember one time during the summer of my 8th grade year, Anthony, he kind of was like a little bad. He wasn't bad. He just did like a little kid bad shit. You know what I'm saying? One time he stole some pornos from his uncle house when he went and visited his uncle, and his mama caught him with them hoes. And he told his mama, like, "Where you get this shit from?" and shit like that, boy. She was real church lady and shit. And I got him from James. So his mama called my mama and shit on some, "Yeah, your son is a bad influence. He got my son watching porn and shit like that." And I just told my mama he got him from his uncle and stuff like that. Just go along with it. And my mama went along with it. I was like, okay. And shit, his mama thought I was just a bad person from that point. His mama kind of carried on with the shit on to my mama. Like, my mama wasn't raising me right on some shit. And like, man, your son is a bad influence on my son. My son wasn't ever doing no stuff like this and stuff like that. So my mama gave in. She was like, "Hey, my son just told me to lie for your son. He really got him from your brother, his uncle. He stole him from his house and shit like that." So they kind of got her off my back a little bit, and me and him kind of started back hanging out with each other and shit. 8th grade summer, me and Anthony was discussing what high school we wanted to go to. We didn't want to go to no real thuggish high school. We wanted to go to like a little Mexican school or something like that, so we can be the stars on the football team. So we wanted to go to a school called Dobie High School. And Anthony's mother, she worked at a school called Beverly Hills that was right by Dobie. So they allowed him to go to Dobie using the address she worked at the school. So my mom was asking her, "Hey, can James use that go to school with Anthony Adobe, and his mama ended up telling my mama, nah, I don't want Anthony distracted or nothing like that. I want him Adobe by himself, and shit, some bullshit. And I ended up going to Jones High School my ninth grade year, and Anthony went to Doe. When I got to Jones, I knew it wasn't middle school no more. Motherfuckers were looking a little old and shit. You know what I'm saying? They were big motherfuckers. Football was hard back then and shit. That's when it wasn't none of that. Oh, you can't do helmet to helmet. Boy, motherfuckers were wearing that hat back then. So I ain't playing football at this motherfucker. I got in the band. Shit, when basketball season came around, shit, I played basketball. But shit, the coach, he coached football also. So he was really giving the football players the shine and shit, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really getting the game until like the games for the end and shit like that. Shit, sometimes I ain't even get to play. You know what I'm saying? So I was really like shit, fuck that shit too. The following year, my 10th grade year, I went back to Jones, you know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas who was good in the band, they had graduated, so I knew this following year I'd be the best nigga in the band. I'd be the captain of the drum line and shit. So I was excited to go to Jones my 10th grade year. One day during the middle of my 10th grade year, I had band for 8th period, and all the band members and shit was in the class, and the band director had us playing notes and shit, and I really couldn't get that shit, you know what I'm saying, all the way. You know what I'm saying? I had made a little mistake and shit, and he kind of went off on me in front of everybody, embarrassed the shit out of me. And shit, I left Jones in the middle of my 10th grade year and ended up going to Worthington High School, which was in Sunnyside. I wanted to go to Worthington because they band director was this young dude who had he used to play the snare when my sister was in school, and he was like real cold for Jack Yates, and he was real cold for Texas Southern, and he had Worthington band jumping. Like Worthington band was the livest shit going on at the school around this time, so I ended up going to Worthington. I tried to get in the band and shit. These niggas, they was cold on that shit. I was like, oh, I can't do this shit. And then they was running that shit like it was a college on some hazing and shit. I was like, I ain't finna be getting my ass whooped by those band niggas, and especially them type of band niggas and shit. So shit, I ended up saying fuck that band shit. In the middle of my 10th grade year, shit, I was out the band. My mama had got me my first car. Shit, I was driving around everywhere, shit. I ain't really know too many people at Worthington at this time. I knew a couple people who came from Wilson, but that was about it. And one time I went to a football game, and I'm sitting at the game by myself, and a nigga named Lil Mark, he came up to me. He was like, hey bro, I know you got a car and shit. We finna swing on these niggas from Yates after school, shit. Come line up with us and shit. I was like, shit, alright. So that's how I got acquainted with people at Worthington through a little nigga named Mark Jones. He was cool than a motherfucker. Mark Jones, he introduced me to a dude who was going to Worthington at the time. His name was Marcus Charlotte. He introduced me to 3 more dudes. I guess they used to go to Worthington or some shit like that. There was a dude named Leon, a dude named D. Kelly, and another dude named Jeremy. Shit, we was with each other every day. Shit, we even got a job at Red Lobster together. And, we'll swing the Red Lobster, swing out the school, swing up to other schools. Shit, and every day, shit, after we get off work at about 10 or 11 at night, shit, we'll all swing and go to my house or Leon's house or some shit like that. One day, one night, shit, we all got off work. We lined our cars up and shit. We was like, shit, we all finna meet up at Leon's house. So we swinging. When you swing, you don't let a nigga come behind, get in front of you and shit. So, shit, I'm leading the lines, you know what I'm saying? I swing, little motherfucker try to come around me. Boom, I dip that way, nigga try to come around me that way. Boom, I dip that way. You know what I'm saying? And one day, shit, they was trying to get around. Leon was behind me. He was trying to come around me. You know what I'm saying? I opened my door. You know what I'm saying? So he couldn't like go around. I don't know what happened or what, but shit, he ended up running my door over and fucked my car. So you know what I'm saying? He was basically on some shit like, you know what I'm saying, bro? You gotta pay me. You know what I'm saying? So shit, it was my first time having a little confrontation in high school. Um, so Leon, you know, he telling me, you know, hey man, you gotta pay for my car. I'm like, hey man, you hit my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, my door was already open. Like shit, you ran my shit over. You know what I'm saying? So with the red lobster chicks, you know what I'm saying, I had bought me some little tint to go on my windows. I had bought some music to go on my trunk. I had bought a little radio and shit like that. And one day, shit, my car got broken into. And when my car got broken into, I'm I'm still living in Kings Road at the time. I'm like, shit, I know I've been living over here all these years. I know ain't no nigga gonna break in my car and shit. Not over here and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering who the fuck broke into my motherfucking car and took my motherfucking music and my radio. A couple weeks had passed by and shit, you know what I'm saying? And you know, Leon still be hitting me and shit on some, hey bro, you still gonna get my car fixed and shit like that? At this time, I'm really on some, man, fuck you type shit, you know what I'm saying? And one day, right before school, Lamar called me. The nigga, Mark Jones, who I met first. Hey bro, I'm finna tell you some shit, but don't get super mad and do no crazy shit. I mean, what's up? He was like, bro, I know who broke in your car, bro. I'm who? He, bro, Leon. What the fuck? He, bro, I just had to tell you, bro, that's some snake ass shit, bro. Like, we don't get down like that, bro. Like, I ain't even want you thinking it was us or no shit like that, bro. I had to go and tell you, bro. Leon broke in your car, bro. You been telling everybody and shit. So, shit, my 10th grade year at Worthing, that's when I kind of learned about getting snaked out and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Getting backed up. You know what I'm saying? I started learning, oh shit, we ain't on no kid shit no more. Nigga ain't stealing toys no more. Nigga on some real shit at Worthing when I got to Worthing. You know what I'm saying? So shit, every time I see him, shit, I swing on his ass, shit, block him off somewhere, sit in front of my car, just doing all kind of shit. And that shit got old, you know what I'm saying? The next year came, my 11th grade year, I started playing football for Worthing. I started playing fullback. Kind of backtrack to my 10th grade year. Lil Mark and Marcus, they had the hoes, you know what I'm saying? Marcus was a little dark, short nigga. He supposed to have the like biggest dick in the school type shit. So he had the whole. Lil Mark had the whole. You know what I'm saying? And shit, I was around them. So shit, it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? I had the whole. You know. My 11th grade year. I think it probably was hanging around Mark and Marcus. I ended up running into a dude named Rashard. He ended up being my best friend at Worthing. This motherfucker, he was a bright nigga with good ass hair and shit, and he had the hoes, you know what I'm saying? So shit, being around him, shit, every day and shit, we had even more hoes. So a nigga, I was just, but that was my thing then, fucking with the hoes, you know what I'm saying? Fucking with the hoes. My 11th grade year, I'm 17. I had been staying in Kings Road for about 17 years. My mama started doing like this foster parenting thing, and you know, she was getting a little money then, so we ended up moving to a neighborhood called Brunswick, you know, 2-story houses and shit like that. And it's crazy because the dude Rashard, he ended up staying on the next street in Brunswick. So this shit was live. It was like, damn, bro, I got one of my homeboys I'm super duper cool with. This nigga stay on the next street. This shit, it's gonna go down. You know, my 11th grade year, I wasn't just fucking up in school. I was making A's, B's, and C's. You know what I'm saying? Cause I saw how important this shit was. I saw the 12th graders when it was time to graduate. I saw how they was all trying to get credits and trying to do shit to graduate. So in my 11th grade year, I kind of was on it. You know what I'm saying? I was doing my work and shit, but you know I was smoking weed. I was sipping lean. You know what I'm saying? Shit, coming in, leaving whenever I want to. I was doing my damn thing. Choppers was out, the blades, rims. I had just got me a car, a Lucerne, 2010 Lucerne, and I had that motherfucker on the blades. That was like the livest car in the school at the time. Around this time, swinging popular than the motherfucker. We swinging before school. After school, everybody leaving the student parking lot swinging. Sometimes we swing to other schools or swing to a little restaurant. We just swinging. Everybody swinging cars like this all day. Where the niggas? We all had upgraded and we all got swingers. Me, a nigga named DeAndre Elliott, a nigga named Lord, a nigga named Cayman, a nigga named Broderick Biggums. He was riding his big brother shit. You know what I'm saying? There was a couple of us on the swingers and shit. You know what I'm saying? So shit. We ain't really knowing how important these hoes is, you know what I'm saying? We just some kids riding these hoes, riding the swankers and shit, you know what I'm saying? And shit, we was really on, I had the swankers on the motherfucker 2010 Lucerne and shit. It was like 2009 though. One night, my phone going off the hook. I'm like, damn, what the fuck these niggas want? I finally answered from a nigga named Roger. He wasn't going to Worthing at the time. He was like, hey bro, you heard about Dre? I was like, what? He was like, bro, they just killed him in Cullen Park for his swingers. What the fuck? But that shit made my heart drop, cause like shit, we riding them all. That's my partner, my everyday nigga. We play football together. Shit, I trained my first hoe with Dre. You know what I'm saying? The shit shocked the shit out of me. That was my first close like death. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit kind of fucked me up. I tatted his name and shit on my chest and shit. The shit was sad, man. I remember coming to school the next day, shit, you could hear a pin dropping that motherfucker. Like Dre fuck with everybody, but he was younger than us. He was in the grade under us, you know what I'm saying? He was a like young nigga doing it. He bright nigga too, good ass hell, you know what I'm saying? Like Dre was a player ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? I remember one time he was like, oh, we sitting in the parking lot just smoking and shit. I remember one time Dre was like, man, I'm trying to get some head. He called a little bitch. He come downstairs, give me some head. She alright. Hey, wait, James down here too. She, alright. Bitch come down there. That was my first time having some action like that. I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? R.I.P. Dre. Man, mind your words was just some different shit, you know what I'm saying? At Dre funeral, shit, even the killer came to his funeral. They show you what kind of shit was going on around this time like that. Oh, you some young nigga, the killer come to your funeral? Oh, well, we didn't know he was the killer at the time, but shit. Just thinking about it now, like, damn, some young niggas going through some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I bought my first tool from an OG from the hood named Tix. You know what I'm saying? It was an ugly ass pistol, one of them heat of the night pistols. That hoe was a 9, but had a long little tip. It looked like a silencer on that hoe, but it wasn't a silencer. It was ugly than a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's how I got my first pistol. So now, you know what I'm saying, I got a pistol. You know what I'm saying? I'm riding the swingers and shit. And I'm chilling with Rashard Bryan every day. You know what I'm saying? Rashard Bryan, he was the type of nigga. He was a little pretty boy ass nigga. This nigga was, Rashard was already eating coochie when we was in high school, so all the hoes wanted his ass and shit, you know what I'm saying? But this nigga used to be fucking all the fighters' gals and shit, you know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers stop liking our ass and shit, you know what I'm saying? Cause Rashard was fucking popping they hoes, you know what I'm saying? Rashard was a player ass nigga, he popping all the hoes. Niggas be mad, trying to fight his ass, they know I'm with his ass all the time, shit. So niggas, I was getting the feel of what it felt like for niggas to not like you and shit. My 11th grade year still, I'm going with a female named Demetrius Breeden. Uh, One time at the school, this female named Tiosha, she was telling me, she had another female come up to me like, shit, Tiosha want to talk to you. I'm over Tiosha, she in the 12th grade, shit. I go, oh. See, all right, she was on some grown shit, you know what I'm saying? She had a job, I think, at the bank. She had a baby. She was like on some grown shit. I was still a little boy, you know what I'm saying? So shit, I was introduced to something different then. In high school, the shit, words be just getting around and shit. Somehow I think Demetrius found out I was talking to Tiosha. One day Tiosha and Demetrius had a fight outside the school, and I wasn't even there, you know what I'm saying? And Demetrius' little sister Didi, she ended up jumping in the fight. They ended up jumping Tiosha. So Tiosha got all her old friends there. They was hot at I'm talking about they was hot, nigga. And one of her friends, they had a nigga who ended up being my football coach and shit. He was ready to whoop my ass on some shit. Like, bro, big grown, old ass nigga. I'm talking about he was ready to fight my ass. My sister, she was in them streets, you know what I'm saying? I done seen her win, lose. She gonna get out there. She was in the streets. She was tough. She was like a boy. I always looked up to her. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to just be like a hoe or nothing. So shit, everybody meet up at Cloverland Park. Meet up at Cloverland Park. So I told my sister. She told one of her homegirls from the hood. Her name it's Bright Johnny. Bright Johnny with the light brown eyes. She got his sister Kim, and my mama was doing the foster care, so we had a boy living with us named Dominique, and he was a crip and shit. He was like, I'ma go. My sister was like, shit, if you ain't gonna fight, don't go. He was like, nah, I'ma fight. So shit, we went up to Cloverland Park 4D, me, the crip boy, Kim, and my sister. We pull up to Cloverland Park. Around this time, all the Cloverland niggas, they used to be beating niggas up and shit from the foe and shit like that. And this before we all got cool and old and shit. We pull up to Cloverland Park. It's deep. The park, I'm talking about jumping, full of Cloverland niggas. Shit, Tiosha out there with all her homegirls. They ready to fight. Shit, the nigga I'm supposed to be fighting, he out there. You know what I'm saying? So shit. We get out the car. Shit, as soon as I get out the car, I had a little hoodie on. Shit, I try to come out the hoodie. Nigga come, big swole nigga come. He ain't talking he ain't doing no talking. He's swinging on my blows. Boom, 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 boom. I'm talking about drop a nigga ass. Nigga, I'm trying to come out the jacket. He drop a nigga ass. Shit, my sister come behind his ass, stab him with a fork. Wow. After that shit, Tiosha homegirls, they run up on my sister and the girl Kim and shit, nigga. They deep, nigga. They run up on their ass. I ain't even know my sister had this shit. She pull out some mace out their ass. I'm talking about they rumbling over there. I'm back up. I'm fighting for my life with his big ass. You know what I'm saying? Shit, it's going down. Shit done got real quick. Yeah, so it's getting real like that. You know what I'm saying? Bro coming with that heat. He a big ass nigga. He already got this grown strength. You know what I'm saying? So shit real. My sister them over there rumbling, you know what I'm saying? I'm the park deep, everybody from the school out there and shit, so I'm trying to come up with something in my mind and get this nigga off of me. I chunk up the foes real quick, cross them hoes, nigga, throw a 1-2, hoom. I throw the 1-2, shit, them hoes land, you know what I'm saying? For some reason, me and him go back in the rumble. We go in the rumble. I don't know if I punched him a wrong way or something. A motherfucking arm pop out of place. Mind you, it's getting real like my arm out of place now. You know what I'm saying? It was this arm. My arm then popped out of place out there and shit. I'm trying to get out of there now, bro. He coming up and shit. I see the little foster boy I'm with, you know what I'm saying? The little crip nigga who was living with me at the time. He trying to look around and shit, looking tough. A nigga from Cloverland named Brent. Brent finna come behind him and sneak his ass. I see it coming, you know what I'm saying? I look at a nigga, R.I.P. Lil Josh. I look at Lil Josh. I did him like this, you know what I'm saying? Lil Josh gave Brent a little look and a nod like this. And he was like, and shit, we got in the car and we left. Now words, and I got a little name for myself, you know what I'm saying? I got the whip, you know what I'm saying? I got a little clique of homeboys, shit. we fucking these hoes, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting into altercations and shit. Now I'm Jay Nasty from Jay Nasty at Wood. There was a little female who stayed a couple houses down from me, and she used to be at Rashard House all the time with his sister and shit. Her name was Jessica. She ended up being my gal, you know what I'm saying? We she really was like the first person I really had sex with, you know what I'm saying? I used to lie a lot and say I was fucking and shit, but I wasn't fucking. We just had the hoes, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else was fucking though, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't fucking though, you know what I'm saying? I actually broke my virginity when I got with the girl Jessica. Now I know what it feel like to get some pussies and some head and shit, so now I'm really fucking with the hoes. That's all I'm really fucking weird about is fucking now. I know what it feel like to nut and shit now. So oh shit, I don't know what I've been missing the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm fucking and shit, and 12th grade come around, and shit. The first couple games, I stopped playing football. Shit, I just was smoking weed, riding swingers, and fucking hoes. In the middle of the year, I kind of realized, man, shit, it's my 12th grade chill, bro. I gotta go out with a bang. So shit, I end up jumping back on the football team. Shit, one of the coaches was talking about me behind my back when we had a coach named Coach Ellis who was like, who is this new nigga come out here with the white cleats on, backflip out and shit. And it was the wood shop teacher, I forgot his name, but he was on some shit like, that's James Hamilton, he in my class, he ain't about nothing. And a nigga named Early Stevens, he ended up coming to me and say, man, Ellis was asking about you, and coach said, shit, you ain't about shit. So the first time they put me in at fullback, you know what I'm saying, I get in and lays the hat on a nigga named Zero. Did shit, the next play again, I laid the hat on my little homeboy, little Antonio. You know what I'm saying? Shit, it's going real. I'm laying hat. I got everybody in practice wide. Mind you, while I'm at Words, and it's a popular clique of females they call the crew. You know what I'm saying? It was the cheerleaders and the dancers and shit all in this little clique. You know what I'm saying? All of them, they the finest girls in the school. They doing they damn thing, you know what I'm saying? They known like a motherfucker, and shit. My homeboy Rashard, you know what I'm saying? He was fucking with one of them. He was fucking with Whitney, you know what I'm saying? Whitney, she go with the nigga Lil Josh, you know, Lil Josh one of the top fighters in the school and shit. So while he fucking with her, shit, anytime he fucking with her, shit, she bringing her homegirl, Larissia around and shit. Shit, I'm fucking with the Larissia girl. Now let's rewind just a little bit. You know, I told you before I hopped back on the football team, I was just fucking around. So I had went to one of the cheerleader coaches and I was like, hey man, I can start riding the bus with y'all to the football game. And she was like, yeah, it was Miss Roberson. She was like, as long as you get you a green shirt, baby, you can ride. And shit. Before I started playing football in my 12th grade, shit, I was just riding the bus with the cheerleaders and all the dancers and shit. So I'm on the motherfucking bus with all the females, shit, the crew, the shit, everybody, you know what I'm saying, thugging, Jay Nasty and all the females, the fine motherfuckers from the school. Now the girl Larissia, she was a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? She had a nigga. She was in my grade. She was in the 12th grade. But the year before, she was going with a senior, but he wasn't like no badass dude and shit like that. His name was Derek. She was fucking with him, and that's who she was in love with. But when he graduated, she started talking to a nigga named Marquise. Marquise, he was just a regular nigga. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't just too big on the fight and shit and all that shit. So she was fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? And she used to come around and cheat on her nigga with me, you know what I'm saying? And shit, that's how I locked in with Larissia. She started becoming like a close friend to me. You know, now I'm fucking with Larissia. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still going with Jessica at the time, you know what I'm saying? She still got her boyfriends and shit. And I was fucking with a girl named Jominique. Germany, she knew how to do hair like real good and shit. Germany used to be breaking the neck out that chick. I was liking that shit, you know what I'm saying? She was a cool little female. I was just young and dumb shit, kinda like using her on some shit. Um Kinda backtrack a little bit. After the Christmas break, our 12th grade year, me and Rashard, we come back to the schoolhouse high one day. Shit, I had rolled a big fat ass blunt. We was excited to go back to school. Coming off the Christmas break, I rolled a fat ass blunt. We get hot in the bitch. We going to school. I guess we smell like weed. Me and him, shit. The laws come up on shit. Tell us do our hands like this by their nose. Shit, we do that shit. They send us to the office. Shit, I go to jail from the schoolhouse. Me and Rashard. For public intoxication. Around April of 2010. It's like a month until we finna graduate and shit. For 4 months nobody said nothing, but this April the counselors or something come to my class and shit. They get me out of the class. Rashard texting me, "Hey bro, you know they kicking us out the school?" And we go down to the counselor's office and they was telling us, the district they got something going on where if you smoke weed or something at the school, you gotta at least do 30 days of CP. We was like, why y'all ain't say nothing? They was like, shit, it ain't it never popped up in the system, but y'all gotta go to CEP. We was like, well, we finna graduate. We ain't trying to graduate from CEP. Then my mama come up to the school, you know what I'm saying? She like, man, I done already paid for his cap and gown, his senior trip, this prom shit. I done paid all these senior fees and shit. Like, come on, like what's going on? So somebody, I think the principal, ended up saying, well, they gotta go to CEP for at least 30 days. But what I do is, I let them go to the trips. I let them walk across the stage with words and so we was like, all right, now we ain't gotta graduate, we ain't gotta walk across the stage with the CEP people, we ain't gotta walk across the stage with an alternative school. Basically what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? We got to walk across the stage with the words, and we got a words and diploma. Now it's time for graduation. Shit, we graduate, we walk across the stage. Me and Jessica had some kind of breakup and shit. I was getting into it a lot with her mama and shit. We ended up breaking up for good. Larissa, she ended up breaking up with her boyfriends. And she went to TSU, and you know how that went. Shit, her ass, a hot motherfucker at TSU. She wasn't worried about them niggas, but she was my partner, and she was living in Greystone, the dorms at TSU. And shit, I was just pulling up on her every day at TSU. You know what I'm saying? Fucking with her, smoking with her at TSU. Sometimes I just spend the night, you know what I'm saying, and stay at that hoe down there all week. Now I'm chilling with her every day at TSU after the breakup and shit with Jessica. Like, me and her had entanglements before in high school and shit, but when I was chilling with her at Greystone, we was so much on some partner shit, I'd just be sleeping in the bed with her. We don't even be fucking, we just be chilling, smoking, watch TV, chopping it up like we chop it up. You know what I'm saying? She Larissa from the schoolhouse, I'm James from the schoolhouse. We cool, we been fucking with each other all year. Shit, like, we done got cool, like she my female best friend type shit. Now, Larissa, she had a homegirl who was in the crew too. Her name was Kim, and Kim would be around us sometimes chilling and shit. And one day Kim was like, "Why y'all just don't fucking go together? Like y'all might as well go together. You know what I'm saying? Y'all with each other every day. Like y'all sleeping with each other. Shit, y'all might as well go with each other." And shit was like, we ain't even say like hell nah. We both were like, shit, we might as well. Shit, it is crazy shit. we started fucking going together and shit. That was my second girlfriend, like real well. That was like my real on some real relationship type shit. You know what I'm saying? That was like me and Larissa started going together like that. When we graduated, I tried to go to TSU, but my GPA, you had to have like a 2.5 shit, and shit, my GPA, my shit was like a 2.0 and shit, and then they was like, well, so shit, my GPA wasn't even high enough for me to get in Texas Southern. They were like, well, you could take this little test, this SAT or whatever, and if you make a certain score, then you can come here. Shit, I had made a low score on it, but they was like, shit, well, you can go to ACC for a couple months. Or by 2 years and get your GPA up, and then you can come to TSU. I was like, fuck that shit. Now I'm basically living with her ass at Greystone on some shit. I'm there every day, like I'm not going home. I'm eating cause that's when I was introduced to like financial aid and shit like that. She had a card where she could eat anything at TSU and shit. Then they was giving her like this loan. It was like $6,000 and shit. So she breaking bread with me, shit, making sure a nigga eat shit every day. Like I'm eating the good ass TSU food, shit. Like shit, I'm loving this shit. You know what I'm saying? Feel like I'm a student at TSU type shit. Now I'm fucking with her so tough to the point, shit, a year done passed by. Now it's finna be the second year of college and shit. I was like, damn, so they just give you this apartment, this little dorm for free? She was like, nah, they take a little bit out my refund and shit. And I was like, bro, you ought to just move with me and my mama and say that, look, they taking some thousands from you. Shit, yeah. I was like, she just moved with my mama and carry that extra $1,000. Shit, she was like, shit, that'll be smart. Shit, me and Larissa moved with my mama and shit. Backtrack to my 11th grade year. The crew, they was some wild little females, but they was smart than them motherfuckers. I'm talking about they was real smart, you know what I'm saying? And their last name was close to my last name. I'm Hamilton, they was Griffin and Gaynor and shit like that. So we had the same home, and that's how I ended up in pre-AP classes my 12th grade year, because I cheated off them on the text test, and cheating off their ass, I ended up getting commended performance on my text test and shit. I ended up getting put in pre-AP class because these motherfuckers was smart. But back to the second year of college, Larissa was like, shit, you might as well go to ACC. They gonna give you a refund just like they give me a refund. So shit, I ended up going to ACC, and I started getting that refund just like she was getting a refund. Shit, now we some young motherfuckers, niggas sitting on them bands. We'll have about 15 bands in the house together. You know what I'm saying? And shit, she ended up dropping out of college and shit. I had signed up for the wrong major. I thought audio engineering was for like studio shit and shit, but that shit was like building radios and shit. So shit, I had the money. I dropped out too. She ended up pregnant. You know what I'm saying? She was pregnant with my first child, Lil James. Now we done been out of school by 2 years and shit. So we graduated in 2010. So 2000 people from 2011, they didn't graduate now. You know what I'm saying? A nigga named August Alcina, he was dropping videos on World Star Hip Hop and shit. I had them bands and shit on me, and shit, I knew the nigga from World Star Hip Hop named Q before he died and shit. And shit, I started putting videos on World Star Hip Hop. This nigga made it famous though. Now don't get me wrong, shit, Larissa just wasn't horn and shit by herself, you know what I'm saying? I was horny at the time too. And when she got pregnant with my child and shit, I ain't never took a female serious like this, but when she got pregnant with my child, I was on some shit like, alright, we can't be doing this whole shit though, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's kinda embarrassing, but she was outside, you know what I'm saying? And then she was young in her prime, 19, 20. Shit, she fucked that shit, and she was still making plays, doing her. So shit, we was on and off, on and off, on and off type shit. Now we on off and shit. Sometimes we together, sometimes we ain't together. I ain't gonna lie, I'm in love around this time, you know what I'm saying? But we still on and off and shit, and she had got pregnant again and shit, with my daughter or whatever. And I remember she did some shit. I was like, man, I don't even want to have no baby by you. You need to have an abortion. She was telling me, nigga, I can raise my kids by myself. I ain't having no motherfucking abortion. Shit, that's how we ended up with my second child, my daughter, child. Before we had my second child, we had got our first apartment together in Scotland Yard on Holly High. I started working home health care for my granny, and I was making $900 a month. She was splitting a check with her grandmother for the same home health care, but she wasn't really going to work, so they'll split the check. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like the check will be like $400 a month. She'll give her, $400 every 2 weeks. So she'll give Larissa $200 that week and then $200 the other week. So we had got us an apartment in Scotland Yard Apartments. Now this still before my daughter born right here. We was like, damn, all the money we really making, you know what I'm saying? We gotta spend it on rent and shit, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, we need a cheaper apartment. I ended up running into my homeboy who moved from Atlanta when I was a kid. His name Anthony. He had him a little girlfriend and shit, and they were living in some Mexican apartments in Gulfgate called Willowbrook or some shit like that. And it was like $400 a month for them hoes. So we had us a little extra spending money when we moved to this apartment right here. You know what I'm saying? Now backtrack a little bit from when we was staying with my mama. One time me and her had a little altercation and shit, and she was calling her mama, come pick me up and shit. And her mama like, I'm at work, I'm finna call Artie to come pick you up. That's her stepdaddy and shit. And I was so mad when her stepdaddy pulled up. Shit, I went to his car and shit, and I gave him a picture of her mama with another dude. He just drove off and left her ass at my house and shit. So they ended up putting me on a protective order and shit. But we ended up getting back together. We ended up getting apartments together and shit. Now the judge was on some shit like, I see y'all be getting back together and shit a lot. So I just want y'all to know, if y'all get caught together before this protective order over, somebody gonna go to jail. Me. You know what I'm saying? And so shit, we was together, but shit, we tried out to get pulled over and shit like that. And one time we got back together, and we went to Pearland. She wanted to go to Taco Cabana. Laws pulled me over. They run my name. They see it's a protective order against her. That's how I get the case in Pearland, violating a protective order in Pearland. Shit, I get out of jail, and it was Valentine's Day, and my sister was like, man, me and my gal at Kima, y'all come down here, we ain't got no weed to smoke or none of that shit like that. So shit, I was like, shit, Larissa, you wanna go to Kima? She was like, yeah. So shit, we get up, we go to Kima with that gas. We go in the room, I got my pistol with me, you know what I'm saying? We in the room, we smoking, we getting high. Shit, some people knock on the door. It's the law. They coming up, they run my name and shit, and they take me to jail for violating the protective order in Galveston. And then they find a pistol in my backpack. You know what I'm saying? So now I got a pistol case and I violated the protective orders in Galveston. I get out of jail in Galveston County. We go back home. You know what I'm saying? I'm frustrated and shit. I'm steady going to jail just for being around her ass. So shit. She feeling the vibes, we get into it again, you know what I'm saying? Her brother, Kevin Archer, he ended up moving in the same apartment that we was living in Willow Creek. So he had an apartment right down the walkway with Danny. So Danny and Kevin staying down the walkway, we stayed on this hood. So one day, shit, Kevin just so happened to knock on the door while we getting into it. So we open the door all mad and shit. He kind of get pissed off and shit. So Kevin trying to bug me and shit. Now, shit, she my family at this time. So every time I go to jail, her family probably be like, you know, what he going to jail for? She probably be like, cause they're protective or all this such. So they know anytime we together, I'm and the laws come, I'm gonna go to jail. So yeah, Kevin has call the law, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause he knew I was gonna go to jail just for being around her and shit. So boom, he called the laws to the apartment. I go to jail for violating the protective order again. I'm talking about, and it's crazy shit. I end up losing that apartment and shit like that. And so shit, ended up going back to live with my mama, and she ended up going back living with her mama and shit once I got out of jail. Now, the female Jessica I used to talk to, when we used to break up and shit, she used to cry for a nigga and shit, and why and all that kind of shit. She loved the nigga and shit, and but my baby mama, Larissa, she was a different breed. When we break up, oh, she out there. You know what I'm talking about? She fucking. You know what I'm talking about? She turned up, she in the club, she popping Molly, all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, she going wild doing the breakups, but that shit used to hurt a nigga. I'm talking about, I used to be dropping tears, like, you know what I'm talking about? Man, I couldn't, looking back at myself now at that shit, like, oh, she was, like, oh, that shit made the nigga look so weak. Now around this time, I'm like 22, 23 years old. I'm still having feelings and shit, you know what I'm saying? So, shit. 9 times out of 10, we got back together. Oh, when my granny died and she left me her house, I was able to move in my granny house and shit. And me and my baby mama had got together and shit. And one day she got pissed off. I remember her just flipping my table while I was rolling weed and shit. I was so bad. That was my last little weed I had. Shit, that was like one of the longest breakups. That was like our first longest breakup when she left my granny house. When my granny died and she left from my granny house, that was like one of our longest breakups right here. Now I'm kind of getting used to what type of person she is and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck trying to get back with her. So we stayed separated for about 4 years. Throughout these years, I linked up with a dude I went to middle school with, Frank. Frank from 4000. Frank was hustling. I'm chilling with Frank every day in Wesley Square, and then we go to Kings Road, and he out on Kings Road just hustling and shit, and he having a bankroll, making fans and shit. Frank a little younger than me. I'm peeping Frank out like, man, this is what I want. You got the dreads going. Frank, I remember when you didn't have the dreads, you had a little head shit there. You got the dreads, the hoes fucking with you. I'm talking about you got the bankroll up there. So shit, I end up growing me some dreads. Shit, I end up hustling. Um, the drug that move on our block is water. You know what I'm saying? In houses they said when you live on a block where it's houses and shit, that's what they said, crack and shit. But in this apartment, they was moving water. So, you know what I'm saying? I end up start selling water and shit. Water and weed. And at first when I started off, I wasn't that good. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to freak the cigarette and tilt the scope over and tap it in there and yank it so the water can go back to the cigarette shit. I didn't even know how to freak it. I was just dipping whole cigarettes. I remember Frank one time was telling me, hey nigga, you giving niggas damn near $70 cigarettes, boy. What you doing? Now I'm moving water and I'm actually getting good at it, you know what I'm saying? The stains starting to see my face on the block every day. I'm a familiar face on the block and shit now. It was a girl who I grew up with as a kid. She used to go to my church. Her name was Bianca. She had a spot over there. Shit, so I was like, shit, Frank, we gonna go in Bianca shit. You know what I'm saying? So we giving Bianca like $30-$40 a week or some shit, to use her spot. So that was our trap house. We had that was my first trap house with Frank T and Bianca house. You know what I'm saying? We moving water and weed. Man, I actually started liking the profit and shit. I started really getting good. I started getting real good. And niggas started fronting me I was getting so good, you know what I'm saying? Nigga named Do-Man from who went to Worthing with us, he was getting the pounds in. He was he was sending the pounds to my granny house and shit, you know what I'm saying? And he was sending 2 pounds and he'll take one and he'll leave me some and shit, and he'll take one, leave me a pound, and I get off the pound quick, then give him his money. We had a little thing going on and shit, you know. I ended up getting kind of greedy. I wanted my own plug after I saw how good I was. Um, After Do Man was fronting me, I started shopping with Frank. Frank ended up running into a dude who was cool with his daddy, a Mexican dude. His name was Mo. Now, shit, we made probably $100,000 with Mo ass. You know what I'm saying? Shit. For a second, we was just, I just had, I didn't need the front shit. I was just running out of my 2 pounds every 4 days and shit, going back in real pounds, $2,400. You know what I'm saying? Frank was my middleman. You know what I'm saying? I get the money to Frank, he get the money to Mo. I got the pounds. I get off it in 4 days. We got that same shit going. I used to get off like a lot of weed in the morning times and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'd be needing to re-up and shit. People be blowing me up in the morning and I was money hungry. I needed that money. And Frank didn't want to wake up like before 12 o'clock and shit. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I get irritated and like, man, I'm missing money and shit like that. Bro, I'm trying to eat. You know what I'm saying? So shit, I'd be out trying to seek different other plugs and shit. And I ran into Ron. He was another one of our partners from around the way and shit. And I was shopping with Ron so much he started fronting me. Then it got to a point where he was fronting me so much. That I was shopping so much after he started fronting me and shit. He was like, man, you ain't gotta pay. So I stopped paying Ron and shit. He'll just front me and I just give him his money. Now Frank finally hit me up sometime at nighttime and shit, be like, hey, you still trying to grab that shit? He just called me and said he got it. And shit, me just trying to load up on product, you know what I'm saying? Cause having the product was more important than the money to me, because I knew if I had the product, I was always gonna have the money. So I'd be like, fuck it, I spend my last and just go on shop with him anyway. But I kind of was getting tired of it a little bit, and you know what I'm saying? I still was just seeking different plugs and shit like that. Now me and my baby mama been separated for like 3.5 years and shit. I've been growing my hair for about 3 years. My hair stopping like right here. You know what I'm saying? I got a little hang time. Every time I get make some profit, I buy a ring. So I got a ring on every finger. I got the bracelets on. I got all the chains and shit on and shit. One time my baby mama was like, shit, we having some hard times. Shit, we can, you know, have Lil James party at your house. So shit, we have the party at my house. Her mama get there, you know what I'm saying? We drinking, shit. I guess we co-parenting. You know what I'm saying? We chilling and shit. And her mama peeped me. I look different. I ain't got a haircut no more. I got rings on my fingers. I'm dressed with design. Like I'm looking good. And shit. So her mama look at me and was like, girl, y'all need to get back together. Shit, we both drunk at the party and shit. Her mama was like, girl, I'm leaving you here. She left for that shit. I was horny on some shit. I went on and fuck, you know what I'm saying? Throughout the 3 years, my baby mama was going with a nigga named Charles. The nigga Charles must have had a big ass dick or something. You know, I got a regular average nigga dick and shit. Like when we got ready to fuck, and I looked at her shit, like it wasn't the same no more. It was like different. So I was like, damn, that nigga had to be beating your shit up. So I kind of really wasn't feeling her like that on some shit. Like I was like, damn, bitch, like, damn, your shit different down there. Like I ain't even talking about the feel. I'm talking about the look. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm on some shit. It's through my head like, bro, you ain't the same no more. I'm getting money and shit now. I ain't really in love. Like these 3 years then kind of made me a different nigga, you know what I'm saying? And I remember one time, shit, the process had to keep going on, shit. I had to re-up. So I was trying to re-up with Frank, and shit, Frank wasn't ready. I was pissed off. Man, you know what, bro? I was telling my baby mom, I'm finna drive to Denver. I was really trying to get rid of that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I'm finna drive to Denver, go try to find me a new plug. She was like, shit, I'm finna call off work. I'm gonna ride with you. So shit, I was like, you gonna drive your car? She was like, yeah. So she drove her car to Denver. You know what I'm saying? We went to Denver. That was my first time leaving the state to go find my own plug. Now we on our way back to Houston. She driving and shit now. You know what I'm saying? We had and I already got pulled over in New Mexico on the way to Denver and shit because she was driving fast and shit. But now she driving super fast and hard and reckless and aggressive and shit. And the pounds in the trunk and shit. So I'm telling her, hey, you driving crazy. You know, if we get pulled over with them pines in the back, I'ma say that's your shit. That I ain't finna go to jail out of state and shit. Like I'ma say that's your shit. You gonna go to jail for trafficking. So she slowed down and we got to the highs peaceful. Now, we make it back home. When we make it back home, she thinking I'm playing about like she think, nigga, you in love, nigga, I leave you, I can come back, we gonna argue. She thinking I'm the same nigga. I'm a different nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling her, hey man, you can move around. You know what I'm saying? So she move around this time behind that. You know what I'm saying? So when she move around and go to her house and shit, I jump on Vine. I'm with two yellow bitches, Muffin and one of Muffin partners and shit. We at Joe's Crab Shack eating crabs. I'm on Vine with this shit. I know she looking at my Vine and shit. So she mad than the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Mad than a motherfucker. Shit, I end up getting some child support papers in the motherfucking mail like a couple days after that. Throughout those 3 years, shit, I'm having bands, so I paid for a good ass lawyer one time because I know sometimes when we was getting into it, she'll keep the kids away from me and shit, and I was getting tired of that shit because, you know, I got a tight relationship with my kids, so I ended up getting a lawyer, Tom Zakes, and Tom Zakes ended up getting me custody with my kids from Thursday through Mondays. So that means I pick the kids up from school on Thursday, I drop them off at school on Monday, she keep them from Monday, she drop them off at school on Thursday, I pick them up Thursday. We keep that going all year, and on the summer she get them one whole week, I get them one whole week, and we had that shit going on. She one day hated this shit. You know, I used to have my mama go pick my kids up from school on my days and shit sometimes. One day my mama in line to get the kids, and my mama called me and said, James, it's a dude up here saying his name, James Hamilton, to get the kids. And on your day, I'm showing the school the paperwork and everything, but shit, they finna let him go with him because he's saying he James. And shit, man, I had to rush up to the school. I hurry up and rush up to the school. It's a big, swole, bald-headed nigga in that hoe, nigga. He saying he James, nigga looking at me like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know who the nigga is. I'm on some, boy, I kill your ass, boy. You ain't no James Hamilton, nigga. And I end up going to jail from the school from saying I killed him for, I went to jail for terroristic threat that day because I said I killed him at the schoolhouse. But it was my day to get my kids. Yeah. Around this time I had gotten into it with my sister and shit. And I wasn't talking to my sister at the time. And I remember one time, Larissa called my phone and shit, and she was like, yeah, and you be not wanting your James to go and mess with his cousins. What you talking about, his cousins? She, yeah, I be going over your sister house and shit now too. Bro, I ain't, like, what you want to go over my sister house for? She was just doing like weird, crazy ass shit. Now, around this point in time and shit, I got some money going on, I got shit going on. ACC was giving out like scholarships. I had went back to school, got me a little associate's degree and shit. Like I had shit going on, and this bitch was starting to do that crazy shit, like bringing down a thin line between love and hate. And you know, throughout this shit, I'm trapping it. You know, the house my granny had left me and shit. You know what I'm saying? And she know what I got going on and shit. The same bald-headed nigga from the school and shit, he started pulling up to my trap house with her and shit. Hey bro, like, what the fuck are you bringing niggas to my spot for? You tripping? Why you tripping, bro? Bringing niggas to my spot. You know what I'm saying? She was getting wild with it. So, you know, sometimes the nigga was kind of like a little funny nigga. Sometimes he'll hop in the trunk. I'd be looking at her pull down the street. She'll pull over. She'll pop the trunk, bro. I hop out the trunk and shit. I was like, bro, you still bringing this nigga to my house and shit. So I went to the courts and made it to where we had to meet up only at the schoolhouse only. Now, shit, I guess this nigga her boyfriend now, you feel me? They going together and shit, you know, they coming to the football practices and shit. You know, I'm coaching. And shit, some days you could tell they didn't have an argument and shit. She sit on one side of the football field, he sit on the other side. Some days she'll come to the football field and chase my daughter around. My daughter be running from my ass. She trying to beat my daughter and shit all at the football games and shit, trying to, so I can say something. Sometimes I just look at her, look at both of their ass and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was just doing shit, like just doing shit. You know what I'm saying? You just getting crazy. Like, every other day she'll like call her motherfucking CPS office and shit. Have the CPS people pull up to my spot and shit, talking about I'm beating my kids, I'm selling drugs and shit. Now my kids was coming with like black eyes, bruised up chin, the skin off their chin, marks all on their backs and shit. And you know, every time they come, I record that shit. And I guess my kids, I know when my kids go over her house, she asks them, what he been asking you this? He been doing it? And they'll probably be like, he was recording the marks on our backs and stuff like that. So you know what I'm saying? She was getting pissed off at that kind of shit. Now let's fast forward a little bit. Her and this nigga been fucking with each other a little minute now. You know what I'm saying? Every time my kid graduate from a school or some shit like that, he a normal face now, you know what I'm saying? I breed dogs and shit, and one time I had bought a adult dog, and you know, my daughter kept touching it and shit. I had just gave, the nigga was still in my eyes, you know what I'm saying, while I'm making the purchase and shit. I just gave him the money, and the dog ended up attacking my daughter and shit. So I was telling the nigga, oh man, you gotta give me my money back and shit. So he ended up giving my money back. I gave him his dog back, but my daughter fucked up at this time. So I called her ass on some shit like, hey bro, man, meet me at Texas Children's Hospital. A dog just attacked Jaya and shit. Like, meet me at Texas Children's Hospital. Now while we on the phone and she telling the nigga, man, this nigga done had these mud-ass dogs to motherfucking attack my motherfucking daughter. And when we get to the motherfucking hospital, beat his motherfucking ass. Shit, when we got to the hospital, shit, bro was on what she was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Shit, he was no talking. He came with them blows. Nigga, he was trying to come get me and shit. And I kind of was bagging up, but when I bagged up into a wall and kind of slipped and shit. You know what I'm saying? And when I slipped, bro was finna stand over my ass and try to work me out, but the laws and the doctors and shit came and grabbed his ass and shit. They told his ass he couldn't come back to Texas Children's Hospital. Now, like a week after this, my kids come to my house on Thursday. I picked them up from school. My daughter was like, Big James, I gotta tell you something. But she didn't want to say it in front of my son and shit. So I was like, what you gotta tell me? She said, I'm gonna tell you. So we get my son walk in the house. Let me tell you. What? We found a gun and some pills in my mama drawer. But I ain't mess with it. James was picking the gun up and he was putting it to his head and stuff. She was like, and then Junior ended up hitting the corner and saw James with the gun, and James took off running with the gun, and then he went and hid in a tree, but they couldn't find the gun, but they finally found it though, because he had hid it in the tree, and he went back up in the tree to get it for him. So I was like, damn, he got a whooping and shit too? He was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, he got a whooping. And then after he got a whooping, she made him go in his room and cut the lights off. I was like, for real? So I called her. Hey bro, what my kid, what Johnny doing with a gun in his head and shit? Nigga, I ain't trying to, don't call me and ask what's going on at such bar, boy. Nigga, I ain't trying to hear shit from no bullshit ass drug dealer. So that shit ticked me off. You hoe ass bitch. Like my kid got a gun in his head at your motherfucking house, and you trying to talk some shit to me, bitch, and I'm trying to see why my son got a gun in his head. Nigga, bitch. Nigga, my husband gonna beat your motherfucking ass at this motherfucking game. Cause my son had a football game coming up that Saturday. She was like, my husband gonna beat your ass at that game. Now I normally coach my son and with the little league shit, but I had just moved him to a national team. He was playing with the Southside Ducks, and the only team I was coaching at the time was Worthing. Coach Ellis had gave me the opportunity to coach the kids and shit, and what I was doing was I record the little league football games, and I record some of the high school games too, because I was helping the kids make highlight tapes and shit like that, and I was coaching a 7-on-7 team. So I was telling her, hey man, I was telling her on the phone, like, hey bro, don't have that nigga do that shit at this motherfucker football game, embarrass me at this with this new team and shit. Don't have that nigga do that shit at this game. She, ooh, Chile or child, whatever for you, scary or some shit like that. Man, that nigga better not fuck with me at that game. That was Thursday. That Friday, the coach from the Ducks, he texted the parents and was like, hey, the game not Saturday no more, it's Sunday. You know, I run all my kids extra activities and shit, so I called her. I was like, hey, the game ain't Saturday no more, it's Sunday in Rosenberg, Texas. She was like, shit, that's a bit. She kind of said it in a cool way, you know what I'm saying? I was like, alright, she out there, shit, ain't shit going down. This night I had to make a highlight tape for some kids at Worthing. They was playing Cashmere, so I'm making a highlight tape. Her brother Kevin called me. Hey James, what's going on with y'all? I was like, I don't want to have this voice in the back of my footage and shit, so just text me. Now, I know how they family rock. They'll make it seem like they on some cool shit, but they don't be on no cool shit. They rocking with their family, they shit, right or wrong, and then that's how family supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So what's going on? Oh man, look, I called her about my son having a gun to his head at her house. That bitch went off on me. I cussed her out. She talking about she gonna have her nigga whoop my ass. I told him, do not fuck with me at this game. Don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, he kind of was like on some shit like, I'm finna talk to her right now and shit. Y'all don't do shit at that game. I ain't gonna say not one word to this nigga at this football game. Now Saturday go by, it's Sunday. The game started at 10. We gotta be there by 9. So I called him by 7 in the morning. The game all the way in Rosenberg. This shit like 45 minutes away. Shit. She was like, James ain't feeling too good. You know, I was like, man, my son like one of the best players on the team. I'm on some shit like, man, give him some Benadryl or something so he can, you know, so she hung up. My son called me back. Big James, I gotta tell you something. I would. He nutting these nuts. He hung the phone up. He called me back. He talking about, you thought I was finna say something bad or something, huh? I was like, nah, you got me. You know what I'm saying? And that was it. Sunday, I was doing me a little photo shoot for my one of my little song covers and shit. So I kind of got to the game a little late, and I had parked on the wrong side of the park. So I had called the quarterback dad. I was like, hey, where you at? And shit, like I'm at the park. I don't see shit. I see ducks and people playing golf and shit. So he was like, nah, you gotta come around this long part and shit. So I come around the long part. They already there. They bagged in and shit. I guess he know that neighborhood because he ended up, after he died, I ended up finding out that the nigga coached football in Rosenberg and shit. So I pull into the parking lot. When I pull into the parking lot, I pass they car up. I go like 10 cars down. I ain't gonna stretch it. You know what I'm saying? I park like 10 cars down. I bag my car in and shit. You know what I'm saying? When I bag in, I see like bro going in his backpack and shit. He put his backpack down and he like, standing outside the car on some shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking to my nephew about the game he had with Cashmere the whole time. Like, man, hey, you was hitting the holes right. You was going straight north and south. You wasn't east west. You was doing the right thing, man. I'm talking about 3-4 yards. Them hoes was adding up to 7-9 yards. I was like, man, you did your thing. That's what we talking about the whole time. You know, I'm really not paying a nigga no mind. Man, it's like bro was listening to my motor or something on the car or something shit. As soon as I cut my car off, I open my door up. I see my son getting ready to walk. He coming from the driver's side of that car from the back seat though, and he going around their trunk. He ain't even get to make it like to the middle of the parking lot. The nigga start taking off running. You can see him running in my car fast in the bitch. Nigga, what's up with all that Twitter shit you was talking? I'm talking about coming aggressive, hard in the bitch, like real hard in the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to shut my door a little bit like, oh, this nigga got the up on me. He got me cornered in. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Bro, he yanked the door open. Shit, I grabbed the tool. You know how you cock a tool and a nigga be like, oh, shit, I cocked the tool. Shit, bro was still coming. Like, nigga, fuck that gun. Nigga, shit, I shot. Bah! Right, like in the pit, he was like a sexy nigga, you know, because he was hitting the gym. So, you know, when niggas had that V right there, I kind of hit him right there, like in the V, kind of by the leg on some shit. Now, after I shoot him, boy, before I shot him, like he was running up to my car so aggressive, he kind of startled my son a little bit. So my son got scared and ran back to the trunk. He on the back of the trunk just looking nervous and shit. Cause the nigga done ran up on me and shit. Nigga all aggressive and hard and shit. So after I shot him and shit, my baby mama, she jump out the car and shit. She grab me. I tell him, I jump out the car too. I tell my son, James, get in the car. You know what I'm saying? She grabbed my son and pushed my son all the way up to the nigga. She using my son as a shield. And then she done grabbed the gun. She got a gun. The bitch shaking it at me. Oh, you done? You done? So nigga, I take out running to the front of the stadium. I tell the coaches like, hey man, somebody call the law. This nigga done ran up on me. I had to shoot his ass. He in a parking lot, you know, shot. She done helped. He, you know, he good the whole time. He talking to her and shit. He done limped back to the car. She on her shoulder and shit. She done sit him in the car. My lawyer ended up telling me they ain't call the police because she was trying to call her mama all the way from Houston so they could hide the gun that she had and put it in her mama car before the laws and she got there. So you know what I'm saying? She was trying to hide the gun they had in her mama car and shit, but homicide still ended up getting it and shit. But you know, I stayed out there and I waited on the police to come and shit. A lot of people, the referee had parked right in front of me. The referee saw everything. Shit, the referee even said what he saw. Like the nigga ran up on him and yanked the door open, and the dude in the black Mercedes shot him. And shit, he was like, they was pointing guns at him and shit. The police ended up detaining me, and they ain't charged me for like 10 hours. On the way to jail, I was trying to explain to the lawman what's up. He pulled the car over. He was like, hey man, shut the fuck up. I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. You know what you did. It is what it is. Tell it to the people at the station. So from that point, I kind of was like, oh, these motherfuckers ain't on my side. Shit, no matter what the fuck these motherfuckers out here telling me. You know what I'm saying? So, shit, like, the next day they ended up charging me with first-degree murder. Now I'm 30 years old. That happened when I was 28. I haven't seen my kids in 2 years. Now I'm fighting for my life.